Hello there folks, and welcome back to another speed paint video. This week I've got another fun batch of dragon designs for you guys, and this time they're going to be based on candy. But not just any candy, discontinued candy. Discontinued candy is just very interesting to me. There's just so much work that goes into like making and shipping candy. You've got the recipes, obviously, but you've also got stuff like the packaging, the marketing, and all that weird stuff. Candy just has a lot of interesting graphic design that goes with it, and I just find it very fascinating. And candy's also interesting to me as an outsider since I have a lot of food allergies, so I don't usually get to eat a lot of candy. A lot of candies that exist in the world are ones that I've never tried, so I don't know. I think candy's just interesting from like a historical and art direction perspective, and I always like learning about it. So today I designed 4 different dragons based on different discontinued candies. So without further ado, let's get into the speed paint. The first design we have here today is based on Brax Ice Blue Mint Coolers, which are a hard candy that is, of course, a mint candy. This was a very fun one to do, and this one definitely takes a very icy and classic Western style approach to a dragon. I mean, how could I not? It's called Ice Blue. How could I not make a cool looking ice dragon? I drew all these designs, by the way, live on my Twitch channel, so if you want to watch some of these speed paints be drawn live, go follow my Twitch. I would love to have you guys hang out with me while I work on these speed paints. Anyway, this guy was just a lot of fun to do. I love working with cool colors. Blue is probably my favorite color, even though I do like a lot of them. And this guy was just a very fun little guy to design. I didn't want to just take inspiration from the candies themselves when making the designs. I thought that might lead to designs that were a little too bland or flat. So I decided I would incorporate elements of the packaging as well. For example, the packaging on these little ice coolers has this clear wrapper with these little blue ends on it that feel very bow tie-like or ribbon-like to me. I just think they're super cute. A lot of mint candy is packaged in this sort of classic clear wrap way. So I decided to incorporate as many of the blue accents as I could, both in the wings, the ears, and that sort of crinkly texture on some of the scales on the belly, and stuff like that. I even incorporated the original orb shape of the candy into the tail to make it feel a little bit more like it's inspired by that design. This guy's just a very classic, icy take on a Western sort of dragon. Very skinny guy also. I wanted it to feel like it's kind of built in the same sort of way that an icicle is. It's kind of skinny, weird, slender, and sharp. It's just a really cool little design. I also made its eyes red to resemble the accent of the logo for the Brax company on the wrapper itself, and I thought it would be just visually interesting to have like this bright red sort of iris on a dark blue eye with dark sclera. I just thought that would look really cool and eerie and like cold and spooky in a cool little way. And for a lot of my food design characters, I like to have their tongue sticking out because I think that's kind of cute and kind of cheeky to have them do that. So this guy's got a nice dark blue tongue. A lot of reptiles actually have very funny looking tongues, like the blue-tongued skink is obviously like the big example when it comes to a blue-tongued reptile. I don't know, I just thought this guy turned out super cute. I wanted it to just feel icy and cool and crystalline like a hard candy should be. And it's just super cute. I love making an icy design. It's very fun to work with blue, as always. And this guy was just a really good start to this fun little batch. The next design is based on the Atomic Fireball, which may or may not actually be discontinued. I saw a lot of different conflicting reports when I was trying to do research while recording this audio, and I'm honestly not sure if it's still around or not. If you don't already know, the Atomic Fireball is another hard candy. This time it's actually kind of based on the Jawbreaker. I think they're made by the same company. The Jawbreaker is just like a sweet like candy you suck on, but the Atomic Fireball is apparently spicy because it's got a lot of cinnamon in it. I wouldn't know, I've never actually eaten a Jawbreaker or an Atomic Fireball, but yeah, I just thought that was a very interesting name for a candy. It's just so evocative of so many different images, and I thought it would be a cool foil to the icy design we have first to do a fiery design next. By the way, some of these candies were really tough to find reference pictures for. Like, the phrase atomic fireball could just refer to an actual fireball from an atomic blast, so it can be a little bit tough to find pictures on the internet, even if you specify candy when doing your search queries, so really quite a pain to look for reference images of this, but it was pretty cool. Anyway, this thing may or may not actually be discontinued. I don't know, different websites are saying different stuff. Allegedly, it might have been discontinued in 2023 or 2024, I'm not sure. But anyway, I just thought this guy still made for an interesting candy design, so if it's not discontinued, oh well. I wanted to make this guy just a nice big foil, of course, to the previous design. It's a very round, very thick design. Very different from the icicle sort of body structure of the ice blue cooler dragon. This guy's chunky, muscular, thick, stout, and very round. It's got big round horns, it's got a big round chest, and its wings are also literally just blasts of fire, because I thought that really leaned into the spicy fire theme in a fun way. It's kind of got elements of a little bit like a bull, I feel like, looking at it now. Which is kind of funny, because bulls definitely do not have claws in the way that this creature does. And again, its body shape is very much like in the style of a classic western dragon. It's got the quadruped build, it's very reptilian with sort of bat-shaped wings, as much as they can be for being literally just jets of fire, at least. Overall, this one was just a lot of fun. I loved working with a character design who's got like black with a bright accent color. I think that's always a fun color palette to work with, and red is no exception as an accent color. It is just a whole delight to make this little guy. This one's just very, I don't know, I feel like it would be like a sassy, difficult to work with sort of character, but it's super cool. I'm really happy with how this design came out, and I think it makes for a good companion piece to the icy one. The next candy is actually the one that inspired the entire conceit of this video in the first place. While I do, in general, find discontinued candy to be very fascinating, there is one discontinued candy that I have beef with it being discontinued, and that is the Hershey's Cookie Layer Crunch Bars, specifically the mint flavor. This is probably the most recent of any of the candies in this video. A lot of them are decades old, but this one's actually pretty recent. It was only from like the mid-2010s. And this was a candy bar that was actually safe for me to eat. If you have been following my channel for a while, if you don't already know, I have peanut and tree nut allergies, so I have not been able to eat a lot of very popular foods, especially in American cuisine. So I don't usually get to eat a lot of candy bars, because usually they either contain nuts or they're manufactured with, so they're still not safe for me. But this thing was actually a candy bar that I could eat that wasn't literally just a slab of chocolate. And don't get me wrong, I like to eat just a slab of chocolate, but it's nice to have variety once in a while. And this thing just had a good texture, it had a good flavor variety, and mint was probably my favorite, but I did also really like the vanilla one. And this was just such a nice candy, but unfortunately it was very short-lived. I think it was only available for maybe 2 or 3 years. I remember I would get it after work whenever I came home. I would go to the local Wawa, pick up gas if I needed it, and I would get myself one of these bars along with a sandwich. And this was just a very good candy. I mean, chocolate mint's one of my favorite combinations, and I miss this bar sorely, but apparently it was just not popular enough for the huge conglomerate that is the Hershey Company, so they decided to stop making it. And it's a real shame, because it was actually a really good candy. And the graphic design for all the packaging for it was really good too. I thought it was just very nice looking. Especially like the bags that had like the mini bars. They had like this really cute pattern on the side that just was very well put together. Whoever did the graphic design did a wonderful job. Anyway, this is a candy I sorely miss. I would love to have it back, but I doubt they'll ever bring it back. But it was super cool. Because this is a candy bar, I wanted to make this design more of a long and slender dragon as opposed to the classic wyvern shape that you get with a western dragon. Plus, I think it's just, you know, it suits a bar to be nice and long, right? It's got all the stripes and stuff to represent the different layers of the chocolate and the cookie crumbs and stuff like that, as well as the mint cream, of course. And it's got like these wing-like ears, kind of similar to how Dragonair is built. And I thought that would make for a more compelling silhouette, and I thought it would be cute to make wing ears, because I just think that's very whimsical and a fun way to incorporate wings on a dragon design. Overall, this is probably my favorite design of the batch, not just because this is my favorite candy and the only one I've actually eaten, but just because it was very self-indulgent. I like working with these colors all together, I think they're very fun. And this is a candy I really like and miss, and I like a long dragon. I think they're super cute and always fun to draw. So this guy manages to strike a balance between sweet and also mysterious and cool in a way that I'm really proud of. So definitely my favorite one from the batch. Last and certainly not least is probably the strangest named candy of the list today, and that is the Denver Sandwich Candy Bar. This came from an era during the Great Depression where a lot of candy companies were marketing candies as a sort of meal supplement, like something you could eat to sate your appetite. during times when food was very scarce. Another even more popular bar was actually called Chicken Dinner, which, oh my god, that's gotta be like one of the weirdest names for a candy I've ever heard. Apparently it was really popular, according to my research. I don't know, I don't have anyone that I know in person who's ever heard of this thing. If you have, let me know. Like, did you eat this thing? Did your parents or grandparents eat it? Let me know, because it is crazy that they named this thing Chicken Dinner when it's literally just like a peanut chocolate bar. It's crazy. Anyway, I felt like Chicken Dinner was going to be weird as inspiration for a dragon, so I went with the Denver sandwich instead. Plus, I kind of like the idea of sandwich being used as like a funny name for a candy bar because it does have the layers of stuff in there, so I think it's justifiably a sandwich even though it doesn't have anything that an actual lunch would have in it. Anyway, it just reminds me a lot of this time period we're also living in, where things are also quite rough, economically speaking, and it can be hard to find or buy food for a good price, and there's a lot of ads you see nowadays for various meal supplements or meal replacements, whether it be like a drink or a shake, or sometimes even like a protein bar that's supposed to be enough to replace your whole meal. And I don't know, I just find it funny that they did it in this very crazy way 100 years ago where they were just naming this stuff literally lunch or sandwich or dinner. But nowadays they're getting a little bit more subtle about it and they're just saying it's just a high-calorie protein bar or whatever. I don't know, I just think it's very fascinating that even though, like, the marketing for this one was very strange and very weird, I think it's interesting that this kind of thing is happening again because the circumstances are once again arising in our culture, and I'm like, that's interesting, but also a little depressing, but also still interesting. The Denver sandwich itself was a kind of, it looks like a tall-ish candy bar, like it looked like it was kind of short and stout as far as bars go, so this long dragon, even though it's also like another noodle style of dragon, another eastern long guy, it's also got like a very stout and thick body compared to the previous one, and it's got a lot of stripes because there's a lot of layers in this thing. I think it had like layers of like caramel and sugar and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't really know what was in the Denver sandwich. I wasn't there. But visually, it's very fun to look at. Looking at that cross-section with all the different colors and layers and stripes and stuff, that definitely inspired me. And I love making a stripy design. How could I not? So I ended up coming up with this dragon design that's somewhere between like a Moostalid and an Aki monitor, if that makes any sense to anybody. Do you see the vision? You see what I mean? I feel like that little chin lump, by the way, on the neck is like kind of my magnum opus for this design. I think it just works so well. And of course, this guy's got wing ears as well, because I thought I was having fun drawing those, so I wanted to do it again because I thought it would be cute. It would help the silhouette stay very clear as well. Really just a very cute design. I'm a big fan of these guys. They're just... what a weird time in history when people were just naming candy bars in this crazy way, and once again we're having that sort of thing come back, but with a little bit less weird names in the present day. Either way, just had a lot of fun with this design. It was a lot of fun to work on, and I just love working with stripes, what can I say? And with that, those are all the designs that I've got for you guys today, so thank you all again so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which one of these designs or candies was your favorite, and let me know if you have any other discontinued candies that you like, that you miss, or that you just think are weird and interesting, because they might make it into another video. I might make more dragons based on these in the future, so yeah, let me know if you have any suggestions or anything like that. By the way, if you like these designs, they're also available as prints on my ACG Goods shop. You can get them individually for just $10, or you can get them in the set of all 4 for 20% off. So consider checking out my shop in the description below if you want to help support the channel and get some cool art prints of these cute dragons. Thank you, by the way, to my Ko-fi members for helping to make this video possible. My Ko-fi members help make my life a little bit more stable by helping to make my income better, and they also help me achieve my dream of making art my main living. So sincerely, thank you to all of you. If you would like to join them, you can go check out my Ko-fi page, the link is in the description. You can join as a member for as little as $1 a month, and you can also just follow me for free to get blog updates as to what I'm up to and what projects I'm working on. You can also check out my VGen page if you want to get any commissions or any downloadables or anything like that. I recently got verified on VGen, so I have a whole bunch of new services available, including dragon designs, so if you want me to design a dragon just for you, go ahead and check out my commissions on my VGen page. And with that, that is all that I've got for you guys today. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I actually originally recorded this like an hour ago, but unfortunately the audio just sounded like complete garbage, so I had to re-record this entire video, so thank you all again for sticking through, and thank you guys for being so great. I want to make sure I have good videos for you guys, which is why I took the time to re-record the audio. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all again next week with another art video. And in the meantime, why don't you guys go out there and make some art?